When John Sims bought this house from a friend, he and his family got something no one expected. He had heard talk about something incredible hidden deep in the ground, under the garden. But when his friend lived in the house, he found nothing. Through much research and hard work, John and his family lucked out. They found something that shocked everyone. In the backyard, next to a pile of rubble several feet high, a man stands triumphantly. The previous owners had warned him that there might be something incredible underground. And here he stands in front of the hatch, with no idea what might be inside. In 2015, Fire Department employee John Sims, of Tucson, Arizona, began looking for a new home for himself and his family. At that time, a friend of his put his house up for sale. It turned out to be the perfect solution. Sims' friend had a lot to say about his house, and his story was different from what is usually said when selling real estate. According to him, if rumors were to be believed, there must have been a secret hatch somewhere in the yard. Back in the 1960s, during the Cold War, 18 nuclear warheads were stationed in the desert around Tucson. They could be deployed at any time. This information prompted a friend of the Sims to think that perhaps there was a secret nuclear war shelter hidden under the hatch. It was a mystery to Sims, and he found it very difficult to resist the temptation. He jokingly asked if his friend had a shovel, and said he would start looking right away. Sims decided to buy the house in the summer of 2015, and soon after hearing all sorts of rumors about a manhole in the yard, he decided to look for it after all. He went to the local records office and they found a building permit on the property. This permit contained a rough sketch of an underground structure. Encouraged by the information, Sims began digging. At first, Sims' efforts were in vain. His excavation yielded no results, and he feared that the hatch and everything underneath it was gone forever. He even decided that nothing had ever been here. He decided to use the services of a specialist who would use a metal detector to inspect the yard and determine the best place to dig. The first attempt was unsuccessful, but the second time they found something. At a depth of 3 feet, Sims discovered the metal hatch his friend had told him about. Eager to find out what was inside, he eagerly opened it, even though he knew that everything had to be properly explored first. Sims had been a lifeguard for the fire department, and knew firsthand how dangerous it was to climb into a manhole alone, especially without proper training. He invited his colleagues with equipment to check the safety of the air. Sims knew that for his own safety, he needed someone nearby. Particularly dangerous was a lid that could fall into place. Then it would be impossible to get out of the dungeon. Finally, he was ready to go down the hatch. As his friends suspected, it was a nuclear blast shelter. And it was in surprisingly good condition. Despite the fact that the shelter was filled with rubble and debris, it appeared to be in excellent condition. A spiral staircase led down 10 feet and ended in a tall domed room about 12 feet in diameter. The room was supposed to provide a safe shelter for the residents of the house in case of a nuclear explosion. There was even a filtration system that purified the air and pumped it down. The shelter was most likely never used. Sims estimates that it was mothballed sometime between the late 1960s and mid-1970s, during a period of international détente. At that time, the US and Soviet Union agreed on strategic arms reductions. Today, Sims finds it very difficult to combine work and shelter restoration. He removed all the debris and rubble by hand, in buckets. To make the shelter more accessible, he, with the help of friends working at the construction site, is pouring a concrete frame to create a new, and improved and more durable entrance. In the future, Sims plans to work on restoring the stairs leading to the shelter. Now he's considering options for the exterior and surroundings.